We did it, MAGA! We made America great again! Except for this. DHL and postal services around the world are suspending deliveries and shipments to the United States of America. Some of it has already started. Most of it will go into effect by Friday. This is by no means a complete list of countries that are suspending shipments of $800 or less to the U.S. This list is ever growing as the week goes on, but countries like Japan, Australia, Taiwan, UK, India, Thailand, South Korea, New Zealand, and all of Europe have already suspended DHL and postal shipments to the United States. Why, you may ask? You see, earlier this year, President Bonespur signed another one of his executive orders that suspended the de minimis trade agreement. The de minimis trade agreement allowed shipments coming into the U.S. $800 or less to enter the U.S. duty-free. Because this is going away on Friday, small businesses around the world are now going to be charging an extra $80 to $200 per shipment. Per shipment.
So most of the world has decided to stop shipping. They stopped their shipments to the United States, their imports. As of today, there are 33 countries that have announced that they have suspended their shipments to the United States due to the ending of the de minimis, which is a tax exemption, a duties exemption that allowed packages and shipments coming into the United States under the value of $800 to be duty free. That ended today. And before it could officially end, countries around the world had already started announcing that they're not shipping over here anymore. If you think that I'm lying, just head over to USA Today to look at the list of all of the countries that have announced that they are no longer shipping to the United States.
Can we talk about how the rest of the world just stopped shipping packages to the United States? I had a friend from Europe send me a small package and it got returned to them, which we found weird at the time, but now the news has come out that basically all of Europe is halting shipping packages to the US. I guess the reason being if it was a small enough package, there was an exemption to the tariffs, but that deadline passed, so now that exemption is no longer in place. So basically all small packages like small businesses or gifts or anything like that, the tariffs are now in place for these things. But I think the real problem is nobody knows how to navigate the tariffs. Again, I'm not an expert on this, but from what I understand is that none of the other post offices from around the world know what the heck to do because there isn't like a clear framework. All the while here in the US, we can't get packages from small businesses outside of the US now, or gifts from people like relatives or anything like that. How is this a good thing? Who does this help? I think we're just cut off from the rest of the world now, unless we're buying from a big company. Hopefully it's just temporary and it gets resolved, but this is really weird. Things just feel off. The vibes are off, right? Am I alone in this? It increasingly feels like we're an island in the middle of this continent now, just like cut off from the rest of the world. But not all at once, like just a little bit more and more each day. It's an icky feeling, and I don't like it. This feels like huge news to me, and it feels like no one's really talking about it, so just curious why that is. I mean, isn't this like a huge deal?
Several countries have suspended some, if not all, of their postal shipments to the United States of America due to tariffs. Mexico announced today that they will also be stopping shipments to America due to the ongoing tariff situation, joining the ranks of several other countries, including Australia, Belgium, Canada, Germany, India, Japan, the Netherlands, Singapore, and South Korea, just to name a few. This comes as the exemption labeled de minimis is set to expire, which allows packages under $800 to be sent to America tariff-free. A total of 1.36 billion packages was sent in 2024 tariff-free from Mexico alone, totaling upwards of $65 billion worth of goods. This comes at a time where summer's ending and the holidays are rolling around, and America imports most of the things that it buys for consumer goods, and Mexico is definitely one of our biggest and most important trade partners for consumer goods.
So it's happening. So the OSPO suspended all the orders that are going to the USA for the new tariffs. So for those who don't know, I have been running Oza Jewelry for about 5 years, and the US market has been always a big part of my business. About 40% of orders comes from the US, which I'm really thankful. But recently things has been a little tricky with the new tariffs. Shipping through Australia post to the US on hold. So yesterday I had to quickly reach out to the customers in the US and tell them we don't know when it will start again. So if you want to cancel, you can cancel. Otherwise you can, I'll send it with the express post. Some of you were totally understanding and really understanding and said you could wait, and like I am so grateful for that. But the most of customer wanted to cancel, and I did cancel it on spot and refund the order.
Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we are talking about something that is shaking up global trade in a big way. Shipping companies all over the world are suspending their shipments to the US. Yes, you heard that right. Packages from overseas are no longer guaranteed to make it to the US, and this is causing chaos for businesses and shoppers alike. Let's get into what's going on. The shipping industry is in chaos right now, and the US is at the center of it. In the last week, major shipping and postal companies across the world have announced that they are suspending or restricting shipments to the US. This sudden move has left businesses, online sellers, and everyday shoppers scrambling for answers. So let's break it down, what's going on, and why this matters. But before, let me play a few clips on the same, and I'll be back with my own commentary. All credits go to the original creators of each and every video you see here.
All right. And just to give you a little idea, I'm going to read off some of the countries that are on this list. Australia, Austria, Belgium, Bulgaria, Cyprus, Denmark, Estonia, France, Germany, Greece, India, Italy, Japan, and the list goes on. See, the UN's Universal Postal Union, right, which deals with the postal servicing of 192 countries, came out and stated that the changes will entail considerably operational changes for postal operators all around the world. And when the agency, right, was questioned by USA Today, they stated that they couldn't announce the names of these countries that decided that they will be suspending their imports to the United States. But then these countries decided to start announcing it themselves. They just started coming out and telling you guys, yeah, we're not shipping to the United States anymore. This should be bigger news, but for some reason it's not really being broadcasted. And I wonder why, considering that we are all going to feel it. For all of you guys who kept saying that we weren't going to feel any of the effects of what Donald Trump was doing until after the 4 years, we're feeling it now. We're feeling it now. Let me just let you know what we're all about to start experiencing, okay? We're going to be dealing with the increased cost of consumers. Now, I know a lot of people have been saying this from the beginning, but now you're really going to start feeling it. When you walk into those stores and you see that the prices actually jumped considerably, then you're going to start to realize the severity of what everybody was trying to explain to you guys. In addition to that, we're also going to be dealing with the impact on small businesses, okay? Essentially causing a lot of them to shut down. Why? Because the higher costs in operations, or it's going to take to operate their small business, as well as the loss in international consumers, okay? You're also going to have to deal with regulation changes. Now that all of these countries have decided to take a pause in shipping over to the United States, who's to say that they're not going to change how they deal with shipment and how they deal with tariffs? And overall, the trade relations is about to change in a way that a lot of us can't even handle. I'm going to be so honest with you. So yeah, all that talk about we're going to feel it in the 4 years, we're not going to really feel it right now. No. We're feeling it now.
So we have most of the world suspending some, if not all, shipments to America starting the end of this month, starting this week under this president. And this is not clicking for a lot of people, but a lot of Americans don't understand where the supply chain starts and ends, or how things are made and how tariffs affect every part of the supply chain. And like I said, holidays are coming around, and when you do not have the money to pay for the increased price of your goods or your toys or your gaming systems, because Asia, Europe, Australia, and now Mexico are cutting off shipments to us, I don't know what to tell you.
It's a tax on small businesses across the world. And those small businesses, they can't afford an extra $80 to $200 just to ship something to the United States. So all these postal services around the world, including DHL, are like, screw it. We're going to suspend it and see what's going on here. Maybe President Bonespurs will change his mind like he usually always does. But hey, we're now just with other countries like North Korea and Cuba and every other communist fascist country who limit what is allowed to be shipped into their country. So if you are expecting a package from overseas not ordered through Amazon, and they're coming from one of these countries, you're probably not going to get it this week. Sorry, folks.
That's completely fine. I totally understand, but still, we have to pay for the processing fee. The whatever platform we use, like Shopify. It's definitely a bit of a big struggle. Not only are we having trouble fulfilling new orders, but it's always it's also messing with our supply chain, because it like big chunk of materials we use, almost 95% are coming from the USA, and like just the pearls are locals and boxes are from China, and some of the hoops and the rings are from Paris. And now we are dealing with the higher cost and the delay, and just it's just been really hard. And I am not going to lie, but it's just the weather or maybe the current economy. The main market, Australia and New Zealand, which another 6% of our orders comes from, is really quiet as well. Maybe I am just sharing too much with you all, but I just try to be transparent, and it's definitely tough, and I am feeling the impact, but I am not giving up. I'm working on finding new solution that maybe I can reduce the whatever I was spending on the US market for the marketing, and find a way to return back to you guys with more promotions or more sales, maybe more giveaway as well.
The problem started when the US government ended what is called the de minimis exemption. For years, this rule allowed goods under $800 in value to enter the US without any tariffs or heavy paperwork. The system made it easy for international businesses, especially small and medium ones, to send affordable products directly to American consumers. Think about online orders from Asia, Europe, or Australia. Most of those items entered duty-free because of this exemption. But as of August 29th, that exemption is gone. Now every package, no matter how small it is facing tariffs between 10% and 50%, or flat fees ranging from $80 to $200 per person. This has created confusion and frustration for shipping companies and postal services worldwide. Many of them don't even know how to process these new tariffs or collect the money from customers, and so instead of risking delays and losses, they have simply suspended shipments to the US until things become clear. Several big names have already acted. Australian Post has frozen most shipments heading to America. Austria Post has done the same. India Post halted all mail, including small packages worth under $100. Even major players like DHL and Parcel Germany have stopped accepting most of US parcels, although DHL Express services are still running for urgent deliveries, and it's not just one or two countries. Over 30 nations across Europe, Asia, and Australia are pulling back because of this sudden change. The impact on businesses is huge. Many small online retailers relied on affordable shipping to the US to reach American customers. Without that option, they are either forced to raise their prices sharply or stop selling to the US altogether. For example, young retailers in Europe have already paused shipments, leaving American knitters and crafters unable to order their favorite supplies. It might sound small, but multiply that by thousands of industries, and you can see how deep the disruption goes. For American consumers, this means fewer shopping options, higher prices, and long delays. Imagine ordering something as simple as clothing, accessories, or electronics from abroad. Suddenly, the shipping fee and new tariffs might cost more than the item itself. And for businesses that depend on imports, the cost will eventually be passed on to the consumer. The Universal Postal Union, which is part of the United Nations, is now trying to work with the US authorities to find solutions. But until there is a clear system for handling tariffs and payments, global shipping companies are choosing to stay away from the US market. So here's the bottom line. This is not just about packages, it's about global trade, small businesses survival, and consumer choices. The US wanted to close a loophole with tariffs, but in doing so, it may have cut itself off from the rest of the world marketplace. And that's the situation in the US right now. Shipping companies are hitting pause on the US, businesses are struggling, and consumers are left paying the price. What do you think about all this? Was adding the exemption the right move, or is it going to backfire on the US economy? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.